Welcome to New York City Visions. I'm your host and fellow New Yorker, Malsman. Our location, our date today first is June 6th, 2012. It's my daughter's birthday. Hi, Kimberly. It's my daughter's birthday today, and also the 45th anniversary of Robert Kennedy's passing. Happened 44 years ago today, June 6, 1968. We are at the Arsenal in Central Park, and it's kind of coming home for me a little bit. I was in the Arsenal. I worked here for Parks and Recreation. I was media liaison for about 7 minutes one time many years ago. And we're here to cover an activity, an event here this evening, the Busy Person's Guide to Eating Local on a Budget. Leda Meredith, L-E-D-A Meredith. I'll give you the website right now, Leda Meredith, MEREDITH.com. We're with Leda Meredith now. We're waiting for the Parks Commissioner now, Adrian Benepe, to come up here to introduce you. And I thought I'd do something specifically for YouTube instead of making little pieces and editing audio to video and all that. Let's just do pieces that are going to be fine without me going through the editing process. Leda Meredith, talk about the Busy Person's Guide to Eating Local on a Budget and how you came to be here this evening. Hi, Leda.
Hi. Well, that's actually the subtitle for my last book. And I'm here because the eating local has a lot of facets. It's a win-win situation. It's better for the environment. You have a lower carbon footprint. It's more delicious. It's fresh, super fresh seasonal food that didn't sit on a truck for weeks getting to you. It supports the local economy, local farmers, especially small farms. So lots of different aspects to this, but the complaint that a lot of people have is that it's more expensive to eat that food than to just go to the supermarket, and that it's not as convenient. And so I have come up with a bunch of ways for myself that helped me make it affordable and make it convenient so that it was actually something I could do for not 100%, but most of my food. And essentially, I'm sharing those tips with other people who want to do the same and want to eat local and support local farms.
Okay, give us some of those tips.
Well, you got to say, wait for the talk. No, I'll give a few. One is learning how to smart shop a farmer's market. If you do have a farmer's market near you, if you walk in and just buy the first thing you see, chances are it's going to be expensive. But if you take the time, for example, to walk the whole market through, you'll find that, like the other day it's something as basic as potatoes that were $3 a pound at one stall, and the exact same kind, Yukon Gold, was about $50 a pound at another stall. So I just needed to walk the market and find out where it was. So that sort of tips people don't realize that, like for really low-income people, that there are subsidized community-supported agriculture shares, CSAs, and that they can actually get those. They might see them first and it looks, prohibitively expensive, but actually they can get a half-price share if they can prove that they are below a certain income bracket, and a lot of people don't realize that. So there are all these different ways to get that local, organic, fresh produce, and not just produce, but also eggs and cheese and whatnot, without it costing an arm and a leg. There are ways to do it.
And of course the diet, vegetable and that. Now there's a lady, a pharmacist sitting right. Her first name is Lena.
Yeah.
Lena. Do
you
know Lena?
I do know Lena.
And she's here with a bunch of greens. What's going on here?
She just hit the farmer's market. She was just at Union Square.
Is she going to be part of your presentation?
No, not specifically, although, this is exactly what I would like to see people do more.
Yeah.
But
where's a farmer's market's easy to find in New York City? I mean, you're a New Yorker?
Yes. I am a New Yorker, and we have dozens of farmers markets. Every day of the week in some borough of the city, there's a farmer's market.
Right.
So it's very easy to find.
Now, what about organic? Some people say, well, that's a bit of a scam. But what about organic?
Well, the local versus organic. When you're talking organic, it may or may not actually have a lower carbon footprint in terms of the amount of fuel used to get that food to you. But it will have fewer pesticides and herbicides, basically synthetic chemicals that non-organic farmers use. And that's important because the chemical farming is not only not healthy for us, for our bodies, but also for the land. It depletes topsoil, it pollutes groundwater, so there's a lot of environmental issue on the organic side too. And local is not necessarily organic. Ideal is you do both. You do local and organic. If you can't do both, there's actually a list, it's in my book and it's also available online, called the Dirty Dozen, that tells you the top 12 plants as far as being the worst case for having the most chemical residue on them if they're not organic. And so I tell people, all right, if you're faced with a choice, you have to pick local or organic, look at that Dirty Dozen list, and if it's something on that list, like strawberries, buy the organic so that you're not getting the chemicals.
So Dirty Dozen.
Dirty Dozen, and it's a list of fruits and vegetables that you really want to buy organic to be safe.
We're going to be speaking afterwards. I know you have a book signing afterwards. Yeah. What is the lover?
It's the Locavores Handbook.
The
Locavores Handbook. And Locavore was actually half a dozen years ago. It was the 2006 American Oxford Dictionary's Word of the Year. And it means somebody who tries to eat primarily food from within their area, as opposed to ship from cross country or some other continent.
We're going to be talking about Dirty Dozen after your book signing. We're going to do some of that. Hi. We're being stopped there for a moment. That's cool. Okay, Lena is going, and hi, Adrian. How you doing? How you doing? I would do it. That's right.
It's been forever.
It's been a long time.
How long has it been?
In 1986. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're with Adrian Benepe, Parks Commissioner, who's a New York story within himself. Started out kind of.
I have to go do the introduction. I'll come right back to you.
Okay, great. Okay, that's Adrian Benepe, the Commissioner of Parks and Recreation here. It's been a long time since I saw Adrian. What we're going to be doing, we're going to be talking to Leda later on about the Dirty Dozen. We're going to get into her background and how she came to this. They're serving right now. They're getting ready. Adrian Benepe is getting ready to speak. Let's listen, then we'll shut it down.
Grab some cheese and crackers and wine. Got to get the homemade liqueurs in the gardens.
Homemade liqueurs. Okay, let's. You are listening to New York City Visions. I'm your host and fellow New Yorker, Malsman. We're kind of out in the little corridor here outside. I don't want to interfere with his remarks. We're going to be meeting with Adrian Benepe in a little while, hopefully. And he's a real New York City story. He started out kind of cleaning parks and shoveling stuff and all that, and then he came up through the ranks. And today he is Commissioner of Parks and Recreation here in New York City. So we're going to try to get with him. Let's shut down here. We're going to go in for the lecture and the presentation, and then we will be back as soon as that's over to continue recording here. Folks, YouTube, just to give you an idea, when I put my program on YouTube, you're only allowed a certain amount of time, 20 minutes, 25 minutes, and then of course you have to, if you're planning on doing this, I go to Windows Live Movie Maker, and I create it there, and then I put it on YouTube. So it's always a matter of matching and editing it properly and that sort of thing. So I'm trying something new here today. I'm producing strictly for YouTube, so it's going to be in time segments, so it's going to be a little bit easier. And then we'll do. So by the time you hear it, I've already done that, and so this will be the first time I'm doing it, trying to make it a little bit easier. So let's do that. Again, you're listening to New York City Visions. I'm your host and fellow New Yorker, Malsman. It is a Wednesday, June the 6th, 2012. Again, my daughter Kimberly's birthday. I just got off the phone with her. Wished her a happy birthday. I'm in the Arsenal. Just a little quick background. In the mid '80s, I was media liaison for recreation, so I haven't been back in this building since 1986. This is my first time back in the building since then. So that's a little background on this. Let's shut this down, and then we'll see you on segment 2 of this presentation. Let's shut down.